Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to Fiesta Gardens Library. I'm so excited to be reading with you, although I continue to wish you were here with me in the library. This is President's Day week. We celebrated two presidents on Monday, Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, and George Washington, our first president. Today, I will be reading you a story about George Washington, and I will tell you some facts about Abraham Lincoln at the end. Let's get started. I Am George Washington by Brad Meltzer. I am George Washington. You know what one of the hardest things in life is? Being the first. When you're the first to try something new, there's no one to show you the way. But when I was little, I wasn't the first. I was the fourth of 9 children. Such a big family. When I was really little, I lived at a place called Mount Vernon, which had a huge river running through the backyard and unexplored forests in every direction. How fun is that? People will tell you that I was a perfect boy. They'll say I didn't tell a lie after I chopped down a cherry tree, but that cherry tree story isn't true. Like most boys back then, I liked swimming, fishing, and riding horses. I was a decent athlete, but nothing spectacular. Mostly, I was an ordinary kid. This book series is called Ordinary People Change the World. And he's saying here that he was ordinary. I liked books, even liked to dance. I was great at it. In school, my best subject was math. I was pretty good at writing, but I was always a terrible speller. But remember when I said that it's hard to be the first? It's easier when there's someone showing you how it's done. Like my big brother showing me how to fish. I loved hearing the stories of my brother's adventures. Thanks to my brother, I knew I wanted to serve in the military. Soon, though, I saw how uncertain life could be. When I was 11, my dad died. We couldn't afford proper schooling, so my brothers had to teach me at home. I didn't go to high school or college, but I was committed to learning and building myself. Working on himself. When I turned 15, my mother told me I needed to get a job. Since I was good at math and precision, I became a surveyor, someone who explores large areas of land to find their boundaries. There was something special in treading a new path, something beautiful in doing what no one had ever done before when he was surveying the land. Just being around the Fairfaxes changed my life. They helped me get work. I observed how they lived, how they dressed, and how they ate. I even learned how to properly dance. At the Fairfaxes, I ate with fine silver and beautiful china. At home, I ate with sticks at a fire. It was as if I was living in two worlds, but to me, both were especially important. When I got older, I joined the military. In my first big battle, I was on the British side fighting against the French and Native Americans. We lost the battle, but I became the commander of all of Virginia's fighting forces. At the age of 23, I ran for office to be a member of the House of the Virginia Legislature. I lost. That's right, I lost. It didn't stop me. I tried again, and this time I won. In fact, I won re-election every time after that. But the world as I knew it was about to change. Remember when I was growing up, the United States didn't exist yet. But then there were no states, just colonies, all of them controlled by England. We were ruled by the British king named George III. Are we going to let the colonists in Massachusetts fight alone, or are we going to join them? It was one of the biggest questions in history. The answer came at a meeting called the Second Continental Congress. All we needed was a leader for the battle. Guess who they chose? They chose George Washington. That day, I came ready to lead, ready to do the job, and ready to be the first. Was it easy to be in power? Never. Our side didn't have enough food, clothing, or weapons. Their side was well-fed and well-armed. So how'd we win? We were smarter. We were sneakier. After we beat the British Army, a new government was formed. I presided over the convention that wrote our Constitution, which created the new laws of our country. The brand new United States of America was free to explore its own future. Now, all we needed was to pick our first president, someone brave, someone strong, someone trustworthy enough to handle all that power. Again, guess who they chose? In life, there are many ways to lead, but leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. That was our first president, George Washington. Now, a few facts about Abraham Lincoln from the book, Smart About the Presidents, written and illustrated by John Buller. Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, and I'll just read a couple of things about him. He was born in 1809 and he died in 1865. He was less than 60 years old when he died. Abraham Lincoln was very poor growing up and lived in a log cabin. He couldn't go to school often, but he loved to read. He was president during the Civil War when the North and the South were fighting against each other. 5 days after the South surrendered, after the North was won, and Abraham Lincoln said he would free all the slaves, he was shot while he was in the theater. He died the next morning. He was one of our greatest presidents ever. He is best known for stopping slavery. This was Smart About the Presidents by John Buller. And we also read I Am George Washington by Brad Meltzer. And I will be reading a story about Abraham Lincoln from this very same series. So look for it on my YouTube channel. Happy belated President's Day. Bye-bye, boys and girls.